What's up, guys? It is 3 a.m. here in Germany, and I just had this thought while I was working right now, and I hope this helps you guys. But the point in this video is going to be talking about why you aren't closing as much as you'd like to. And so it's basically this. I don't believe that people in this space are as good as a listener as they think they are. And active listening and having empathy is one of, if not the most important thing on a sales call, in life, in general, when networking, when talking to family, when talking to your girlfriend or boyfriend about the relationship problems that are going on. I don't think you are listening. And we live in a world now where everybody is me, 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 me. And that's understandable because it's in our DNA, self preservation at the core. Self preservation. Am I going to survive or die? And with the DNA and the biology of how we work, it's all about self preservation. And so that means, by extension, we aren't as good as a listener as we should be. And this applies not just to sales calls, but everything in your life. For example, today I was listening to some of the recordings of some of my setters. And in the beginning, we introduce ourselves, we give as much value, overvalue in the beginning, kind of build that curiosity, open the curiosity loop, keep it open, don't close it. But right off the rip, the guy's like, I'm not interested. And one of my setters decided to keep going about, I'd love to tell you about what we can do. Just give me 30 seconds. It's now a bad time. But the point is this: you don't continue to push when they lean back. When they lean back, so do we. And you have to be extremely conscious and self aware when they're leaning back. If you're just sticking to the script, if you're just sticking to the memory and the playbook, then you're going to lose. You're going to lose those people who kind of have some sort of interest or not really, but you need to be an active listener. And so, in that situation, in that case, when they lean back and they're not interested, we have to have a childlike curiosity and just be like, what do you mean? What's going on? Why not? Have you been burnt before in the past? I'm just trying to kind of figure this out because every single belief and thought that we have has came from an experience of the past. And with thoughts, every single thought comes with an emotion. And every single time you think about a certain thought, whether it's, I don't know, your girl left you and you're thinking about that, you're pissed off, or you've been burnt before by a marketer, you think about that, you're pissed off. You have to be careful and extremely attentive with the infliction in the voice of when somebody is saying that. And it all starts with a childlike curiosity. So when they say, I'm not interested off the rip, and you haven't even got off what you have to say, just take a step back and like just care. Ask them why. What is going on? And that childlike curiosity is going to take you so far because when you shut up and when you listen to people, they're going to tell you things that you would never dream of in both good and bad ways. I was listening to one of my setting calls and I skipped like halfway through, and then the first word the prospect says is, "Oh, I had cancer, and I was going through this." And I was like, "What is going on? I'm not listening to a setting call like this." But you have to be extremely careful. Like he went on a little bit of a life tangent and whatnot, but we you got to square those people back to ground zero. But circling all this back is this: you have to be attentive, and you have to actually listen. And listening and being attentive comes from caring. And what does caring actually mean? It means that when you're setting calls, when you're taking sales calls, and you actually believe in your products, and you actually believe in changing the lives of these people who whose lives deserve to be changed, because like I mentioned before, the people that we do work with, they're great people with a great company, with great business partners, with great souls and personalities, and we need to serve these people in the highest regard possible. So it comes with believing and having conviction in what you're actually offering, being attentive to these people because there are pain points that you must be aware of. And you must be aware of by actively listening, asking questions, and figuring out what's going on. For example, as you guys might know, this analogy is used in the space. But when you go to a doctor's office, you don't just walk in and they start prescribing you shit left and right. You have to sit down. They're going to ask you questions. It's about you. It's not about them. It's about you and understanding your problem and then diagnosing your problem with a solution. It's the exact same thing with sales calls. It's the exact same thing with setting a call. It's not about you. It's about them seeing if they have problems, A, and B, seeing if they want to help those problems themselves. You're going to be surprised at how many people don't actually want to solve these problems themselves because they might not believe in themselves. They might not believe in the service, that it actually works or that it would work for them and that they can work the system with you. So there's so many different types of beliefs when it comes to what's actually happening and whether or not you're finding the right pain points and solutions and getting deep as opposed to just the surface level things that people might say. Like, example, I'm not interested. That's surface level. What do you mean you're not interested? Where does that thought come from? Why are you saying it like this as opposed to that? And why are you saying it within the first 30 seconds of a conversation? You don't even know what I have to offer. But there are also different ways to kind of approach that. I'm not interested. There are high pressure techniques. Like, one way to handle that is, yeah, I thought you'd say that. And that's kind of a shock to people. They're going to be like, what do you mean you thought I'd say that? Well, you have no idea what I have to say. And most people who aren't interested or serious about growing their company say that in the beginning, and that's fine. But I need to know if I'm wasting my time or not with you. So that's like one of the higher pressure techniques. But for me, it's just about understanding people because people are fascinating, honestly. Our brains haven't changed since the dawn of time. And once you kind of crack the code on human psychology and being able to handle different objections at different angles, you're gonna kill it. And not just in sales or in your agency, but in life. And it all stems though, right? Again, circling back for the second time, from being curious in people and having a childlike curiosity and being attentive and actually listening to these people because you need to care. And that's the most important thing. And kind of like what I was talking about in my last video, you're not just making a sale, you're building a relationship long term with these people. And with building a relationship, there are so many different factors that go into it. And it's difficult. Building relations are difficult, especially sometimes when there's ad fatigue and whatnot, but when everything's going great, it's pretty easy to build that relationship, constant communication, just be a likable, decent human being that people want to be around. Why would you do business with someone who you don't like? I mean, it's just pure logic and it's pretty simple. And you're going to filter out the people on your sales calls and when setting between good and bad, especially when you raise your prices as well. You're definitely going to be able to filter out some of those people. But that's why I believe many people in this space aren't closing or teaching their setters, and their setters aren't doing as well as they'd like to because it stems from you at the top. And when you build a team, you build culture, you build community, you teach them, but you have to be aware. And when you teach them from just one point of view, you're also neglecting everything else. Check in with your team members. Ask them what you're doing right and wrong. Ask them what they want from you, whether it's new material or whatever it is. Bring someone else on board and ask them to kind of share their wealth of expertise with the people on your team. For example, learning the foundational skills are extremely important in the beginning. You have to learn to do everything. And right now, I'm still cementing all of the skills: sales, media buying, building a team, scaling, client management, and retention. I'm still doing everything myself. Not everything myself, but I'm cementing the foundational skills. But once everything's cemented, I'm going to start hiring people with months, if not years of experience. And those years of experience are going to be able to shed new light into the company and grow. And if you're not growing, you're dying. Life is binary, black or white, death or life. Are you in shape or are you not in shape? There is rarely any sort of in between. And that's kind of when it comes to building culture a little bit and learning to do everything yourself in the beginning. But I hope this helps you guys and gave you guys a lot more value when it comes to the foundation of trying or of being able to close more, and that's to listen. And it's not easy. I'm not saying this is easy. All skills are difficult and they take time to learn, but anyone can learn. And that's the most amazing thing. Anyone can learn these skills. But some things you can't instill in people are work ethic, urgency to learn these skills and to scale your company or to improve your life. So many different things can't be taught, but the basic foundational skills can be. And it's amazing what actually could happen if you just put your head down and work. And so 3 a.m., it's now 3:10 here in Berlin. I just had some thoughts to get off my mind. I hope this helps you guys with being able to close more or at least getting the right mindset to approaching these things because it's not manipulation. It is not manipulation. In sales, there's a big misconception from the outside in and even in the inside between manipulation and influence. And I told you guys about the 10-step framework in one of my videos. Aaron Brewer, absolute sales genius, him and many other people I've learned from. But the difference between influence and manipulation is intent. What are your intentions? And for me personally, and I hope that you guys can kind of resonate with this, or else you're just manipulating whatever, I believe so much in what I'm doing that the questions I'm asking on the sales calls might be extremely emotional and might bring out some sort of emotion in the person because I want them to discover that their reality is not where they want to be. And through a deep belief and conviction in your voice that you can help these people and that you can show them they are capable of making these decisions, we're able to influence them in the right direction so long you believe in what you're doing. Like I mentioned, a lot of people in this space are young and they're brand new to life, honestly. Like this is their first go at making money or they're experiencing in the online world. They don't really have any life experience and it's hard to build these foundational skills into that. But with enough time and the right intention and slowly implementing new improvements every single day, you're going to start to realize that as time goes on, you're going to have a deeper belief in what you're doing, and that belief is going to itch off onto your prospect during the sales calls. And I've mentioned this many times before, people can scent the bullshit off of people. So if you're not full of conviction or belief in what you're doing, you've lost. And that's fine so long you're aware. You have to be extremely aware in this world. And pattern recognition and being conscious and having the ability to be self-aware of the mistakes you made and the good you made and to be able to keep track of everything. That's a very important lesson and key skill you must develop as well. So a 15-minute blamble, a little ramble, and I hope that this gave you guys a better idea and framework as to how I view things when it comes to closing more deals, actually care, setting the right mindset into how to approach these calls, how to build a team, how to bring people on, get new experience. Don't let your iron fists kind of rule the company, maybe in the beginning, but as you kind of grow, you have to share the wealth and the expertise. But yeah, guys, I hope this was of value, and let's wrap. Let's wrap. Again, we're here in Berlin for the High Rocks, and we did a 10K with a run club the other day. It was the most spontaneous 10K of my life. I was leaving the place I'm staying at to go to a cafe to work, and I was like, what the hell is all this noise in the lobby? And I get downstairs and I'm like, yo, what's going on, guys? And they're like, run club. And I'm like, I'm in. So with my 30-pound backpack, my computer, and my GoPro and everything in my bag, I was like, let's just run this 10K. So I did 10K, and we're training, and I'm super excited for the High Rocks in a couple weeks. So I'll keep you updated with that. But I hope this was of value to you guys. And until next time, peace.